Hey there, part-timers. Once again, this is Anton from Anton Obey. Thank you guys for stopping by the collection room. Today we're taking a look at some comics that I picked up. If you remember I think it was weeks ago, I just picked up Avengers Spotlight, and I was really happy about these. These were very much quarter bin finds back in my day. And so to get them for around that same price or less than $1, I was very happy. Avengers Spotlight features Hawkeye, and it ran from issue 21 to issue 40. My issue 40 being a pretty rough copy. Cover's falling off a bit. Everything else is pretty good. I was very happy to get this series, and I'd owned the series before. It was the representation of just a good cheap book to get your hands on. However, as it's kind of a weird, this title begins at issue 21 and goes to 40 because it wasn't always called Avengers Spotlight. Before that, it was called Solo Avengers, and that run went from issue 1 to 20 as Solo Avengers, and then the title was renamed on the 21st issue to Avengers Spotlight. So the first 20 issues are a little bit harder to get your hands on, not much. They're just not as well known. Avengers Spotlight really was a really catchy name. Solo Avengers was a little bit less so, but it's the same book, and you're dealing with the same stuff. You're dealing with the same hero. It's basically Hawkeye, and in some cases a lot of Mockingbird. But I was able to pick up this set of the 1 through 20 of Solo Avengers, the first half of Avengers Spotlight, very, very reasonably. I found it online. Of course, you know, that's where I live. That's about the only way you're going to find things anymore. But anyway, I was able to pick up the whole set, and they're in pretty great shape. And I've come to realize there's an era of Marvel that's like this that I really, really enjoy. So this particular, like the first issue, everything happens from Hawkeye's point of view, and the second half of the book, everything in the same story happens from Mockingbird's point of view. And I just think that kind of stuff is really cool. And you're taking essentially, what's funny is I had to read the cover on this. Essentially, at this period in time, Hawkeye was the most beloved, most famous Avenger. I know, right? You think of that now, and it's like, really? Not Iron Man, not Thor? No, Hawkeye. Everybody loves Hawkeye. Anyway, Marvel did this a lot with certain titles, and I really, really, I've kind of grown to love it more and more. They took your main big books, and those were all kind of set doing their thing, but they would pull individual characters off to have their own separate adventures, their own separate villains, and a lot less consequences as far as the overall Marvel story arcs. Anything could happen. They were short side excursions. Basically, the whole book is a side quest for this character in his regular. I mean, the continuity of it matches everything, but it's not as important. It doesn't matter. They weren't as consequential as an issue of Avengers. Or, for instance, I recently picked up a full set of The Thing. I filled in those couple of gaps it came with. And so I have a full run of The Thing now. The Thing is an exact same thing. The Fantastic Four is the big book, the book that the bosses are watching, that sales really matter and stuff like that. But we can pull one of the characters out of that and just have them on their side quest and tell any kind of stories we want, because it doesn't matter as much. Those are so much more fun to read. They are so much more fun for me to collect and own and focus on, because I don't need the massive, 30 years worth of Avengers to appreciate it. It's really just a matter of these weird little side tales, and that's what I love about these. And I knew that was kind of what Solo Avengers was at the time, but I didn't realize Marvel had such a large theme going on with this during a certain time period. So Avengers Spotlight was really a big Hawkeye book. They also had The Thing from Fantastic Four doing his own thing, and that was a lot of fun. This was also the same time Dazzler got her own series, which I love the Dazzler series. I really want to reacquire the Dazzler series. It's just not something I have been able to do yet. Definitely something I want to do. It was one that I really regretted selling it. As soon as I sold it, I knew I was like, man, I don't want to sell this. I'm not going to get what I want for it, and I really hate to lose that series. But I can get it back. I will get it back. It'll just be a matter of time. But yeah, Marvel was doing this with a lot of titles at the time, and it's just a lot of fun. You could see it a lot with the Cloak and Dagger series. They got their own series. And this is the same time period. This is the 80s, where, you know, anybody could have their own book. Speedball, at the same time. Speedball got his own series of all characters. And he was a spinoff from New Warriors. Night Thrasher got his own series from New Warriors as well. Just anybody, anytime you took the main lead book and you just put somebody off on their own, it was fun. It was so... anything could happen. It was just a lot of fun to read. So I really liked that they did that. I really liked that. And like I said, I never really recognized it quite so much. And Marvel, I don't think does it, or did it, near as much in any other time period as they just did it then. I mean, this is around the time Wolverine got his own book launched. And of course, Wolverine, that was a standout book that ran for many issues. But even if you look at things like Marvel Comics Presents, you had all sorts of characters running around doing short stories, and those made some of the best, in my opinion, best stories to read, most fun, because you could just pick it up. It was going to run maybe five, 6 pages, and you could get the next issue, and maybe that arc would run one book, maybe it'd run 2. It would just not be something that you had to collect a ton to get complete stories with your favorite characters. And I just think that's awesome. So I was very excited to get these. I really like this Abomination cover. He's one of my favorite Hulk villains of all time. Big fan. We thought he was very, very cool. He also happens to be one of my top 100 favorite action figures. This is the Marvel Select Abomination. I don't know a whole lot more else to say about these. They're cheap. I was very happy to get them. And now I have a complete, it's hard to call it a complete run because I have this half and then I have the other half. And they just kind of go together. I know it's the same book, but there is just a change in title. There's a change in appearance, and it goes from one to the other. But hey, it's the same series. So I finally have a full run of Avengers Spotlight / Solo Avengers. And I never know what to call it, whether you just say I have a full run of Avengers Spotlight, or if you have to say I have a full run of Solo Avengers and Avengers Spotlight. I hate it when they change titles midway through, even though that Avengers Spotlight is totally a better name. It just is. So anyway, that is my haul. I am super happy to have this set back. As you know, I've been replacing things in my collection, and these are 2 I'm just very happy to collect again. So thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I am going to be hunting the Dazzler series. It's 1 through 42. That is something I really want to reacquire. And something I'm going to kind of steer at that. Anyway, I'm going to keep pressing on with my Guardians of the Galaxy videos. I hope you guys, if you have any interest in that, watch it. I got a ton of old videos if you want to check out any other odd comic books or forgotten stuff from Marvel. I appreciate you guys watching. I will catch you guys later. Bye, part-timers.